afternoon. Hope you're all well. Just make sure everything's running okay. And then we can get up and running. So Southampton, 3.23 expected goals and not a sausage from them. Very, very disappointing to trust the expected goals there and their recent form. So hopefully everything's okay. Just say hello. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. A bit late on, but running out of time, alas. Could have done with an equaliser or that first goal a little bit earlier. Turn this. Well, as you can see, this point. So I hope it will help. Is that improved? So if you could just let me know if this. So has the sound improved, Stephen? Has the sound improved, Stephen? Could you please just let me know? Otherwise, I don't know if the changes have worked. Okay, not getting a reply from Stephen. All right. Emblems, you could just sign in. Please let me know. Otherwise, I don't know whether to. So, if you could just please say hello, somebody. So is everything okay? Is everything okay? Hello, anybody? Can somebody please sign in? Otherwise, I don't know if it's working or not, or if there's an issue anywhere. Okay, thank you for that. Right. So these are the matches which have caught the eye at the Sevilla and Mallorca. Both very good expected goals. Watch out for the Champions League sides as well. Today, Slavia Prague, Bayer Leverkusen. Freiburg not playing today. Stuttgart, I believe, as well in Europe.
Sevilla Mallorca is 1-2.
Oh, there we go. That's the Mallorca match ending. So hopefully I'm not talking to myself and that everything's going okay. So while we're just waiting for goals to come in, I might take a look at the bet and goes. So let's do those for today while we're waiting for some goals to come in. So this particular idea is based around the shortest priced over 2.5 goal odds. So we go to odds checker. We check out the accumulator. So I hope all's okay. I'm not. Okay, thank you for that. Right, so we'll just have a look at odds checker while they're waiting for goals to come in. Over and under 2.5 goals. Take note of any team whose overs is 1.6 or lower. It looks like I'm having internet. They're out of my hand, I'm afraid. You can tell this is taking a long time to load. Sod's law, of course. It's all going swimmingly before. Over and under 2.5 goals. anything 1.6 and lower will get a look in. So it's quite, you can clearly see none in the Premier League today. Nothing doing yet. There we go, Bradford and Stockport. So I'd make a note of those. Bradford and Stockport. Their odds are 1.6. Oh, Stockport's 1.8. So 1.6 for Bradford. And we'll just make a note of the shortest priced over 2.5 goals, 1.6 and lower. Tends to have some really good patterns to it. As you collect the results each week, just in certain leagues. If the old firm are playing, you tend to see it. 1.57 Rangers. You can quite clearly see it's a really big second half goals bias to this as well. So if it's a quiet first half for these particular teams with short priced over 2.5 goals, you can see Wolfsburg 1.61. It also gives you a good handle for the neutral plays. Looks like Leipzig, we might have seen a goal, and Bayern Munich as well. But Köln, I'll put Leipzig, Köln and Bayern in. Leipzig, Köln and Bayern. So we'll come back to those, check the scores as they're coming in. So it looks like it's getting a bit busy, but I haven't heard anything yet. Laval against Red Star in French Ligue 2. 0-0 last match for Laval, so that's a bit of a warning, but I do like momentum late on. So if we get this figure coming up, 85th, 90th minute, we could be in for some fun. Hope everything's okay. Yeah, sorry about that, Mark. I don't know what's up with everything today. I'm not a techie. I'll see if I can up the volume somewhere. So let me just see if I can sort that out. So that's full. I'll try to put the volume up there and the volume up there. We don't have volume for the microphone. So we'll try. Hello, Michael. Nice to see you. So I'll speak a little bit louder. I don't know what's going on with the computer. I am sorry about this.
Goal. Sevilla Mallorca is 1-3.
If it doesn't work, then I'll just go to Telegram. So do keep me informed about the sound. Appreciate that. So early knockings in the Bundesliga, first 10 minutes, and Heidenheim are out of the blocks immediately. You can quite clearly see there, 2 goals on, 2 shots on, 2 shots off, 2 corners. Tend to see goals before half-time, Werder Bremen and Leverkusen matches. So keep an eye on that, particularly when it hits the 20-minute mark. So I'll just get rid of a few of these. Keep our list down to a better quality. Serie B today looks like a tough set of fixtures there. 2.6 the favourite in a couple of those matches. So I hope the sound is a little bit better. I'll try to speak up. So just work our way down. Bodo Glimt up to their usual tricks. No goals yet in the Bundesliga. I think I've got all the Bundesliga matches up, apart from Dortmund.
Goal.
I think that's a bit later
Dunkirk
on.
Montpellier is 0-1.
Dunkirk
Goal.
Montpellier, French League
Mainz
2.
Bayer Leverkusen is 0-1.
There we go. That's the first goal of the game. Mainz and Bayer Leverkusen. With these goals before half-time, you either play at the off or you try to create a little bit of value by waiting for 20 minutes. That's what I tend to do. But you can see with Leverkusen, really good expected goals from them at the moment as well. Expected goals against. So give their opponents a chance as well. So that might not be the last goal in that particular match. Looking for Werder Bremen to see a breakthrough before half-time. Tends to be the norm in their matches. Heidenheim Well, the market's suggesting that Heidenheim are given a chance today, and they've started the brightest of the bunch. This is unexpected, really, from Mallorca. Now, with 10 minutes to go, I don't know if they'll collapse. Probably not. Sevilla, don't think they're involved in Europe, so there's no excuses there. So I'll just see if there's anything else I can do with the sound up here. I don't want to make a mistake anywhere. It's at its highest point, so there must be an issue with the computer. So I hope you can still hear me okay as we're waiting for goals to come in. So let's get continuing with our lists for 2.5 goal teams. So Mainz and Leverkusen, 1.7, 1.36 Leipzig, Köln, 1.57, and Bayern Munich later on, 1.33. So expecting a bit of fun and games in the Bayern match later on. And this has been a good strategy so far for finding patterns. Munster and Bochum, 1.62. And the biggest pattern so far, as you can see, is the second half goals. So if it's a quiet first half, you can normally get a good run for your money with the second half. It's a good way as well to limit your choices of matches. Barcelona, Villarreal today, both involved in European club competition next week. Will Barcelona really lose 2 consecutive matches? I'm not too sure. 1.62 for Villarreal today. Usual Saturday, lots and lots of potential qualifiers, as you can see, and they continue on down. No goals yet. Marseille 1.64. Look, the strongest of the Champions League bunch in France today. Since that win against Paris Saint-Germain, they've really continued along that winning run. Pre-Champions League, but don't tend to get let off the hook at home by their home support. Dutch Eredivisie is likely to see 2.5 goal candidates, that's for sure. All of them pretty much. NEC, Utrecht. So I'll show you some patterns if I get time a bit later on. There's just no goals at the moment, so we can continue. I just thought it would be interesting to show you these ideas for betting goes. If you can formulate a strategy based purely on the odds, then it's easy to pick selections without any emotion, isn't it? If you can find the patterns, first half goal over 1.5 goal, and over 2.5 goal is a strong pattern as well, but negatively so for over 2.5 goal. No, not so, but you can see the yeses. Goals before 20 minutes is a possible angle as well. Goals after 20 minutes, you can see quite often, if you have that 20-minute break, you'll see the goals appear. That's, again, a way to create some value. Sound is now fine. Thank you very much, Michael. So something I did worked, so that's good. Nothing much doing in the Bundesliga, as you can see, just yet. The 20-minute mark will be important for teams like Leipzig and Werder Bremen, teams you expect to see at least a goal before half-time. Bayer Leverkusen starting brightly, considering they've got a Champions League match upcoming. Sevilla playing like the kind of side who've got Champions League upcoming, but they don't. Big surprise, but a useful 3 points for Mallorca. So while it's quiet, let's carry on down. Belgian Jupiler League, Club Brugge and Union Saint-Gilloise today should see overs, but no, a little blunted because it's pre-Champions League. Norwegian Elite Serien is a good overs league, so that will be a good candidate today. Brann 1.3. So we can find ourselves a rule-based system for this. You can see it's got some real potential. Rules-based, i.e. wait for 20 minutes. then do X, Y, and Z. Thun, Basel, and Lugano all today. Thun, Basel, and Lugano, 1.55, 1.3, and 1.65. So anything around 1.6, I will keep an eye on. The Allsvenskan today, Hacken at 1.45. So let's just put them up and just check out the in-place stats, see we're not missing anything. Serie B likely to be a bit blunt with the overs. You can see there, look, tends to slant towards unders, and that's typical of that kind of a league. So those are the selections today. Spanish Secunda, perhaps, but I'm not going to be doing the lower tiers. Now, my second system, you go to soccer24.com, and it's a quite simple one. You can see the amount of nil-nils it brings up at half time. Now, that's the idea with this one. This is quite simple, and it's a interesting one as well, particularly laying the draw in the matches with the shortest draw price of the day. We could have a real good lay the draw system, particularly if you cover that nil-nil pre-match. You can see nil-nil has come in a few times. So quite simple. That's likely to be a contender today already at 3.05. So I will include that. The lowest draw odds of the day. Good for laying the draw, apparently. Also good for not seeing 2 goals before half time. But the problem with this is it's about 10s to 13s to lay under 2.5 first half goals. So that's something to think about as well. Can we get away with it through sheer volume? Get a net profit at the end, but it's a big drop down. You're dropping 10 times your liability, which isn't nice, is it? So anything under 3.05 now will supersede my selections currently. So we work our way down. Carvina at 3s. So immediately they are the new selection. I have trouble with my K. Not very good when your surname begins with K. Here we go. Here we go. So Carvina, the lowest draw odds of the day at 3s. And already we've seen a goal in that match. Anything beating 3s. Anything beating 3. Well, Sunderland is at 3. And with Wolves' recent 1-1s and tightening of the ship at the back, that could see something today, couldn't it? Sunderland and Wolves. It's a much needed 3 points, particularly for Wolves, who are on the improve ever so slightly. Still no goals in the Bundesliga. That's a bit of a surprise, heading towards that 20-minute mark. English League 2, nothing under 3s there. Nothing under 3s there. Probably in Italy, you'll see something under 3. But once you can get up and going, it's nice and quick to do, even on a busy Saturday. And it does have some real uses. There we go, 2.8 Pisa, 0-0 at half time already. So that's come in. Pisa at 2.8. Now, if that continues, if you've laid that 0-0, no, if you've backed 0-0 pre-match, your typical lay the draw idea, cover that 0-0 initially. It might have some legs. It'd be interesting once I do the calculations or get AI to look through. Anything to beat 2.8. Well, we've got a couple of 2.95s. And that could be something you could look at yourself. Anything under 3s in the draw market might be a good lay the draw, to be honest. The market doesn't get it right all of the time, does it? So I think we're not going to be beating 2.8 today, it seems. Yes, we are. No, it's postponed. Real Sociedad B at 2.7. No goals yet in the Bundesliga. I will be alerted to any coming in. But it's all very quiet. But Heidenheim is still looking bright. 20 minutes has gone by now. If you're expecting a goal before half-time in a market like this, that could be a good starting point to look at the Heidenheim match. So late lay of Peterborough there, given the 10 men, and Burton Albion really giving it a good shout. Heidenheim and Werder Bremen. Well, if you want to favour one particular side, you'll get good odds, but it's not neutral, is it? 1-0 and 2-0,
Goal.
for example.
Laval Red Star FC 93 is 0-1.
That's Laval and Red Star 0-1. 1-0, 2-0 could be a possible play there. Don't forget, keep your liability low. These are a couple of the lesser lights. Neutral, backing over 0.5 goals. Now, is that value for you? Buying 25 minutes for there to be a goal before half time. Is it value for you? Do you have an exit point? See, for me, side over the other, but it's the best way if you want to have a tickle to get involved, unless you go and ask for 2 goals over 1.5 first half goals. So something like 1-0, 2-0. It will give you an interest at low liability. And 26s for the 2-0. If they get that early goal, Heidenheim, you never know. You just never know. So that is okay, risk reward. And something like Fairbot, you can get a specific stake, for example, or a required profit, which is not much different from that. So that will give me just something to get an involvement with in the Heidenheim Werder Bremen match after 20 minutes. If their patterns for goals before half-time continue, and indeed that 1.09 expected goals, i.e. creating some good chances in the first 23 minutes of the match. Can they convert just one of them? It's one-way traffic, as you can see, 0.00 expected goals for Werder Bremen. This could be a way for you to determine who's going to be scoring the next goal. Simple as that. In the Southampton match, which was inexplicably 0-0, 3.23 for Southampton, something like 0.3, 0.4 for their opponent. This is a good example of Lecce dominating the chance creation, 0.36 against 0.07. Indeed, Verona knocking on the door in the first half as well. But can they continue? We learned our lesson with Southampton, perhaps something to just be a little cautious with, particularly that 0-0 for Pisa. Could be one of those, which if we did it
Goal.
in the Southampton
Mainz
match,
Bayer Leverkusen is 0-2.
0-2 to Bayer Leverkusen, so no curse of the Champions League just yet. But I would recommend or advise to target these shorties. 3-3 Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, conceding 3 goals. Copenhagen conceding 3 goals, at odds on, losing. They could lose focus second half. They could make changes second half. Champions League is so important, particularly in this league phase now. So that could be a degree of value, being as it is such an early lead. But quite clearly, who's creating the chances here and who's converting them. Hope all's okay. Down at YouTube, yeah, everything seems to be fine. So Heidenheim, just based on Heidenheim's start, and if that can remain at 0.00, then Werder Bremen won't be scoring that first goal, will they? More speculative play, this one, of course. If you delay entry, you're going to get far better odds. So you can always sit on it, which I'm going to show you with Pisa. Now, sod's law, of course, Pisa will come out and score 4 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second half. But if you're seeing some promising expected goals, but you don't really trust the team, and this is very, very high, so this is a warning sign as well. I was going to say one of those to cover the 0-0 and sit on it, but already this is factored in that this might be 0-0 for a while. It's a big loss to take, isn't it? If you get an early goal, that's completely blown out of the water. That will, if it stays 0-0 as predicted, those draw odds are going to get shorter, shorter and shorter. The longer you can delay with a full liability, the bigger the return. 2.16, for example. Then you go down with your £40 stake, and your profits get bigger and bigger and bigger, as you can see. The longer we can wait, the bigger the return. So you can see, get that liability of £40 is now turning into 65. And the only way you can lose with this is one, an early goal, which will knock out your liability insurance, or this ending up a score draw. So it's picking the right match. They are knocking on the door. Verona, 0.94 expected goals for the away side. That could play into our hands from Pisa's perspective, trying to keep this lot quiet. But 1.52 at half time is very, very high for over 0.5 goals. It does suggest it's going to be a bit of a snooze fest in the second half. Bundesliga still very quiet. Wolfsburg and Stuttgart, when they post good expected goals, they do deliver on those expected goals. So we'll be looking out for that one. FC Köln and Augsburg, well, both of these sides are very, very troublesome defensively with their expected goals. If you looked at the report earlier on, let's see if I can find it. FC Köln and Augsburg should have the expected goals somewhere, but they are a bit sloppy defensively. So I would be, yes, very worrying defensively for both teams. But the problem is they're both worryingly bad, so they could cancel each other out. Look at this differential for Augsburg, which means the difference between their expected goals and their expected goals conceded is huge, minus 7.1. It's completely the wrong way around if you want to be winning football matches. Look at that. 13.4 expected goals against. Divide that, of course, by the amount of matches played. So we will see what we will see from FC Köln today. Can they take advantage of that sloppiness at the back? Got home advantage, but it's a little quiet so far. Hamburg are keeping Leipzig quiet, but it's now the half-hour mark. Do you think Leipzig can break through before time? Hamburg newly promoted on a run of 3 unbeaten so far, so they'll be delighted with that start to the season. Let's just sort out Soccer 24 with the 3 o'clocks on the way. We don't want to be overwhelmed. So this is how I would sort this out. I'm collecting odds on favourites now. Club Brugge and Union St-Gilloise, both in the Champions League, and Club Brugge have huffed and puffed a bit pre-Champions League, but always tended to get a goal at least. So it could be a second half match for Union St-Gilloise. DZ 1.36 at home. Paulsen are leading at odds on. Slavia Prague involved in Europe. Could be a potential banana skin for them today. Odds-ons in the Premier League, Manchester City 1.42. Could be a banana skin for them with Everton in a nice bit of form at the moment. And Jack Grealish taking that kick, that clearance, which hit his shin. He'll take the goal. Got an important win against a very, very solid Crystal Palace. It's here, though, where the odds-ons are very important for me in the Championship, League One and League Two, because they're such difficult leagues to trust that we put our faith in the market, and if these sides deliver as per market expectations, we'll have ourselves a trading angle or two. You can see some odds on favourites here, Stockport County, and you tend to see the usual suspects week in, week out. Cardiff, for example. Swindon, odds on away. Barnet, Chesterfield, Bristol Rovers just drifting a tad from odds on. Colchester, so quite a few odds on favourites today. It's Grim up north for Grimsby, MK Dons and Walsall. So collect your odds on favourites. It gives you a gauge and you will be alerted, and then you can investigate, particularly if the underdog scores the first match. I think Saint-Etienne will be odds on a bit later on against Le Mans. Saint-Étienne, newly relegated. Le Mans, I think, newly promoted. Saint-Étienne, one to follow. FC Köln, odds on. Leipzig and Bayern Munich. Paderborn, for example, that Desmond earlier on, if you laid that draw, Paderborn scored, the odds on favourite scored, so you're going to get better return. So that's also an important element of playing odds on favourites. Only the one, Torino and Napoli. That's going to be a tricky encounter, I think. The value of these odds-ons. We've got a match to look at now, Colchester and Harrogate. One of these two has scored. One of them is an odds-on favourite. If the underdog has scored, I will start investigating the in-play stats, etc. So we've got that one to look out for, Colchester and Harrogate. Bodo Glimt, as you can see. So if Sarpsborg took the lead here, you would be alerted to the fact there's a goal in an odds-on favourite match, and you can investigate on that basis. 1.11 as well brings with it expectations, 3+ goals, etc. So we just go to some of the major leagues. Well, Union Craiova and Steaua Bucharest, and in the SPL, odds-on favourites have been delivering in the SPL outside of the Old Firm. You have to have a bit of faith in the Old Firm that they're going to get back on the winning run soon. Hearts have an exceptional record running from last season, going unbeaten, albeit the only time they fell foul was when they got sent off. So odds on Quetta. See, some of these lower tier matches might provide you with an angle in that you wouldn't normally have looked at.
Mainz Bayer Leverkusen is 1-2.
And there's the Mainz goal. I was going to be looking at Leverkusen. Are they short enough to lay? And it's too late now. Did I lay them? I'm not too sure. That should have been a call, really. Here we go. Look, this is an example. Same as Vasteras earlier on, which was successful. Odds on favourite, a goal down. Yes, we've got to be careful of the league. So that's vitally important. But bring up the in-play stats. If Kalmar's stats are suggesting they are performing like Vasteras, then we might have ourselves a nice play. Basel, very short today. Lugano, very short. Pre-Europe, I think, for Basel as well. Konyaspor, Kokeelaspor. Potential shock there, but the shorter the odds, the better, though. 1.5 and lower, more reliable. Galatasaray, pre-European club competition, I believe, as well for them. So that's our odds on favourites. They go into the My Games here now, and we can investigate that Colchester match immediately. Is it the favourite that scored first, or has the underdog scored first? Well, indeed, the underdog has scored first against a very strong home favourite. So says the market, 1.57. So this is a definite match of interest. Now, so we're going to look at Colchester's stats, bring them up to the watch list at the top here. So let's have a look at them. Colchester. Where are you? Here they are. So it's a little bit early in the match, and that in itself could be an angle for you, couldn't it? You could say to yourself, it's so early in the match. Harrogate might be labelled in the half-time market with 40 minutes to go if Colchester's 1.61 is accurate. 3 consecutive wins for Colchester. We can perhaps investigate this one a little bit further with soccer stats, or indeed we could use AI, but let's use our old pal soccer stats. So we're going to English League One. Have a look at the form for Colchester this season. Have they been delivering before half-time, for example?
Goal.
Is it League One?
Wolfsburg VfB Stuttgart is 0-1.
So Stuttgart have the lead against Wolfsburg. Not a great surprise. League Two. Let's take a look. So we'll have a look down at the Colchester-Harrogate match. Well, it's a little quiet on the goals front. So I'll get Colchester and Harrogate up. Look at the goal as well. Is it a penalty? Is it an own goal? Anything like that to potentially weaken Harrogate's case. Duke McKenna. The mighty Duke McKenna getting the goal there. So we'll view the stats and the matches for both of these teams. Look at recent form. 2 consecutive wins for Colchester. Good stuff. Both teams have scored in the last 4 matches, indeed in the last 6 of the last 7. So they do have a goal in them, Colchester United. At home, they're unbeaten in 3 matches. Harrogate, both teams have scored in the last 3 defeats, so that could augur badly for them. A 1-0 win away at Gills can be covered by our insurance, and that's our old pal Duke McKenna turning up again. Dukes of Hazzard delivering yet again. The mighty Duke McKenna. So it's not a compelling argument for Harrogate. Where's that second goal coming from? Both teams have scored in the last 3 at home. They have conceded in the last 9, so that's not a particular shock today, is it? Looking at the challenge table, tell you where these two are. And it's mid-table mediocrity for these two. But looking at the home form for Colchester, it's a little bitty, isn't it, for a 1.57 home favourite. But notably for me, 2 recent wins, or indeed 3 of the 4 results against 14th and lower, 1-0 only. Covered by insurance. That you just have to accept if it comes in. But 1-1 draws suggest the possibility of an equaliser. That 2-0 can possibly be covered. We can investigate this one, as you can see. Still 0-0, and had I gone in, it's going up nicely, but far too high, those odds. Colchester and Harrogate, therefore. Take your insurance out immediately. It's a bit illiquid. You can see the gap between back and lay odds, but it's not going to be an expensive insurance, even at 108, which is not the true odds. £2.20 to cover that 0-1. Now, what you can do, you can sit on this. If you're willing to take a £3.20 hit, sit on it for a bit longer. By sitting on it for a bit longer, you'll determine whether Colchester have turned up like odds-on favourites at home. And then you're going to get better odds in the +1 market as well because of all of those 1-1 draws. You can see here, that's a strong indicator that the home team is strongly favoured by the market today in what is a woefully illiquid market. So do bear that in mind if you're going to be trading that. Match odds, you're automatically getting a very decent odds, about an odds-on favourite after 9 minutes. Now, value is in the eye of the beholder. That is incredibly good value if you're looking at Colchester performing like a 1.57 favourite. Harrogate already a big outsider, layable at far, far shorter odds so early on. So they're not the best candidates on the planet. I've seen far better 1.57 home shots. That is not the form of a 1.57 home shot. We don't have any form for Harrogate against 15th and lower away, so we don't know how they're going to perform against the bottom half. But we can infer that they might not get that second goal. And if you're at all worried about that, both teams to score no would be a good option. 2-0, 2-1 might be an option as well in a liquid market. So this is a good advert to you as well about playing illiquid markets. It's not got those market forces, does it? Hasn't got those really strong market forces to tighten up the odds. Hope you're all okay on YouTube still, as we're waiting for the Germans to get going. That is the sound you will hear, hopefully, when a goal has come in an odds-on favourite match. So Bradford, I think, are the favourites against Barnsley, but we can determine that now with a quick look. Bradford and Barnsley. And we've got odds-on favourite Birmingham. We're likely to be seeing that come up, unless I've missed it. So Birmingham and Hull, odds-on favourite Birmingham. I'll be looking at the in-play stats there. And Bradford and Barnsley. Where's Bradford and Barnsley? So the odds-on favourite Bradford have scored first, so not really going to be investigating that. Odds-on Plymouth have scored first. But we've got a goal from Old Rod here against Birmingham. So that will be investigated. Odds-on favourite at home. Always a good indicator of the potential, at least not to lose the match. So let's bring up Birmingham and Hull in the English Championship, and there's a goal just registered there. Come far too early for us to have any expectation based on the pre-match research, but what you can do again, if you fancied it, if you're not at all sure, you could lay over 1.5 goals, and this could be a neutral play all of its own. I wonder how many of these will produce a decent enough green long enough down the line, and again it's totally illiquid, so these championship etc not really caught anyone's eye. I wouldn't be laying over 1.5 goals here until this tightens up a little. That's awful, isn't it, for a championship match? Totally lacking any market forces at all, which scuppers my plan of laying over 1.5 goals straight away here. There are other markets like the goal lines, Asian handicap, but this is not your usual liquidity you'd see in a championship. Just a glimpse of 1.11 there, which I would take. It's a very low liability. You could put your own odds in if you wanted, but there's no market forces to be pushing the odds together. Or you could lay at 109 as well by clicking the swap function here. But there we go, that's getting a little bit better. So you have to just wait a little. I would tolerate that. So laying over 1.5 goals to cover the potential stake that I want to use. So that's a £5 liability. If you want to write that off, don't get involved straight away. Sit on it for a bit. Birmingham 1.76.
This market has been suspended.
The strongest market favourite at all. So we'll be looking on these two with interest. They're just yet to get going because it's so early in the match. Bundesliga, very, very quiet. Couple of 0-0s. You can see now why I wanted to limit my liability. Heidenheim and Werder Bremen. You're trusting the home side. 0.41 Werder Bremen expected goals. Not good enough to get a breakthrough for them just yet. That's second half. Odds on favourite. And there's the equaliser for Colchester, coming a little bit too early for me. But if you're going strictly with the market here,
Goal.
you would be in.
Colchester Harrogate Town is 1-1.
Or you could be in the half-time market as well, as I suggested. So that's just a good indicator for you. A bit early in the match for us to get a confident play via the in-play stats. But if you wanted to go straight away, it was really good value, wasn't it? Colchester's odds. Really good value so early in the match. I don't think I played, did I?
Goal. RB Leipzig Hamburg is 1-0.
And there's that goal from... I didn't play. What a pity. Leipzig goal before half-time. I was expecting Leipzig and Werder Bremen to see at least a goal before half-time. But it's going to be struggles now for Hamburg second half. Looking to survive until half-time. But a very poor expected goals from them. Hamburg not landing a blow. Augsburg not landing a blow either against Köln. Both of these sides are very poor defensively. But meeting a fellow dodgepot can always give them some hope. Let's take a look through the Premier League and the Championship early knockings. See if anything catches the eye. La Louvière, newly promoted in French League 1. Unbeaten in 4. Doing a good job. Sheffield United, bit untrustworthy under this new manager. Not so Coventry, full of goals. So if they concede first. Charlton Athletic as well, having a good run of it. Lost last match. The Owls lost last match as well. West Brom against Preston, odds on favourite at home. Will get my eye. Bradford odds on have already taken the lead. Cardiff can deliver on their day. Luton Town at home, odds on favourite as well. Plymouth against Wimbledon, odds on Plymouth scoring the opener. Very strange not to hear any German Bundesliga goals knocking in. Maybe they're all pop in second half. Odds on favourite Walsall against Barrow. Stick them on my shortlist. Odds on favourite Barnet as well. I don't really need to stick them on my shortlist because I will be alerted if there is a goal in these matches. So let's work our way down. Premier League. Early knockings. Got to keep an eye on these Champions League sides. Man City starting brightly against Everton, who have had the better of the early chances. Brighton against Newcastle. This is a tough encounter for Newcastle. They do have exceptional expected goals against, making it very tough for teams to score against them. 3 consecutive away 0-0s could be vulnerable today for the pre-Champions League Geordies. And the Bournemouth of the lead against Crystal Palace. These are two sides in very good nick. But Crystal Palace are a very tough nut to crack. Everton needed a whole heap of luck. I wonder if Palace will have an equaliser.
Goal. Mainz Bayer Leverkusen is 1-3.
And Sunderland have the opener against Wolves. Wolves on a run of 1-1 draws. So this match might not be over. I'll just get rid of a few of these lower tiers because they're blocking my ability to view under here. So Brighton Newcastle, the Champions League is a concern for Newcastle, and it's a tough encounter. Brighton have a strong both teams to score pattern at the moment, which might lead us to laying the first team to score, given the positive expected goals for Newcastle. Burnley and Leeds, you'll be looking at these two eyeing 3 points today against a fellow struggler. We've got another goal in an odds-on favourite match you heard in the background, or maybe didn't. I've got it on
Goal.
speaker.
Charlton Sheffield is 1-0.
And there's Charlton scoring, odds-on favourite scoring first, so nothing to see there. So we can keep an eye on any of these other matches working their way down. Netherlands will be coming on board a bit later on. We don't need to be focusing too much on the Norwegians today. Trying to keep the quality out there. Bryn and Rosenborg, no, not today. Any Spaniards playing at 3 o'clock? We'll soon find out. Portuguese Cup, probably going to be lacking any liquidity, but Braga, I do like a bit of Braga. Tend to deliver in the top flight. Scottish Championship suffering from the liquidity issues the English Championship suffering from, but I would always be keeping an eye on my old pal St Johnstone, who are really solid, the newly relegated side, loving it in this lower tier. SPL as well, a few odds on favourites there today, worthy of our attention. Rangers have started, well, can they still be trusted? You need a bit of faith in them. So just a Charlton match, very quiet so far. Very quiet indeed. Post-international pre-Champions League is going to be the suffering. This is why I wanted to lay over 0.5 goals. At a relatively high 1.51, you can see this is a protracted 1-0. Another goal in an odds-on favourite match. No, just move that to my, and then any auditory alerts will come purely from my matches.
This market has been suspended.
So we have a suspended market in a match of interest. I wonder if that's Colchester getting the second goal, or Birmingham. No shots on, 2 off, 1 corner. There's very little for me to work off early on. That's the problem with Birmingham and with Colchester. Nothing to confirm whether they're up for it or not. Some good expected goals from Heidenheim in the first half. Suggest that draw could be layable second half, but we've really just got the one side working for us. Heidenheim. Goal coming in an odds-on favourite match, I think. Let's bring that up. Don't think Everton will land a blow today, but they could keep Manchester City quiet. And Quarter, odds-on favourites, already checked that before, have taken the lead against Miranda, so no need to check that one up. Paulson against Bohemians. I don't think that's worthy of our attention. Pisa and Verona. Now, a good example to you, let's see 1.73. Had you waited in that Pisa match, every moment you wait, you're creating more value for yourself in laying that draw. Because you're laying at a specific liability, that would have gone up to £51 already, just by waiting until 1.75. And your over 0.5 goals would already be up to about evens, which is quite something from 1.5 at half-time. So it's got legs, this. It's all about the choice, the proper choice of match. You don't want it. That looks like half-time break there, does it? And then a move down for the 0.5 goals to evens. So that's why delaying can provide you with some really good value plays. Lecce against Sassuolo. Sassuolo newly relegated, 2 consecutive wins, a very tight 0-1 against Verona last match, and good win against Udinese at home. But they are playing Lecce today. Last time Italia. Not sure what to make of Lecce. Against the big boys, they are very vulnerable. Atalanta and AC Milan. Not sure where Sassuolo fit in here. Are they going to be more like a Parma match, where they're going to be expecting, both sides expecting to get the 3 points against fellow potential relegation fodder? But we've got the goals coming in now to check out. I think Motherwell are odds on. Bradford and Barnsley. Could have done with Barnsley scoring first there. MK Dons, I think, are odds on favourite. Let's just check out the MK Dons match. No, yeah, odds on, already scored. And Motherwell, I think, are odds on, in quite a few odds on favourites. And they've already got the goal at Falkirk. So no surprises from the odds on favourites in the SPL just yet. So just have to be patient today. We've got plenty of matches to choose from, but just got to relax and know the kind of unique weekend it is. Some teams won't be turning up. Other teams will be vulnerable. I do expect Man City to be made to work for their opening goal. But Erling Haaland has been quite exceptional, and he is the difference in vast majority of matches. I'll be keeping an eye on Crystal Palace as well, but these two
This market has been suspended.
Very well matched indeed, despite what the market says. 1.5. Sorry. Yeah, I thought 1.5 was far too off. Crystal Palace 2.15 only. Far too well matched, these two. Single defeat only against Merseyside teams. It's going to be a difficult ask to take Bournemouth on just yet, until Crystal Palace show something. Wolves, 2 consecutive 1-1 draws is a sign of hope. And they did produce some very, very good shots against Brighton in that 1-1, where if they had more world-class strikers, they would have got the win against Brighton. Brighton did get the equaliser eventually, and that's a story of Wolves' season, really, isn't it? But very encouraging pair of 1-1s, suggesting they can keep sides quiet. But can they keep Sunderland quiet? Sunderland, both teams to score last 2 at home without losing. They are at their best at home, so they're a difficult side to lay, unless their odds get even shorter than that current price there. Keeping an eye on the odds on favourites. Birmingham, no sign of them yet landing a blow. We will keep an eye on that one. And nothing much to report. Crystal Palace is a difficult one to unpack. Pre-Europa League as well. So I wonder if they're going to be making any changes to Crystal Palace side with that Europa League in mind. So it's not a clear-cut day by any means, is it? 1.5 at home. Yes, fair enough. But have you seen Bournemouth's form recently? It's not the form of an outsider by any stretch. just take a look through. We've got the odds-on favourites are conceding. Birmingham equaliser against Old Rod. If you wanted to strictly play odds-on favourites at home, by all means do. I haven't got a record of how often they do get those equalisers. You've already seen with Colchester, and you've already seen with Birmingham already a 2-1 lead. So I'm very disappointed I didn't go match odds there so early. Should have done, based purely on the fact you're getting extremely good value about an early goal. There's no panic, Mr. Mannering, at all. Old Duke McKenna, 3rd minute goal. You've got 87 minutes for them to get out of jail. You could have played half-time market if any of you did. Extremely good value over evens with 3 minutes gone. I should have bitten that one, shouldn't I? I hope everything's okay for you at YouTube.
This market has been suspended.
Issues seem to have been fixed. So we'll keep an eye on these odds-on favourites at home. Can they be automatically trusted to equalise? They do generally have a good strike rate. Let's get the My Games up. Did we get another goal coming in?
Goal. Birmingham Hull is 1-1.
Yeah, so we were Birmingham
Goal.
doing the job.
Rangers Dundee UTD is 1-0.
Rangers odds-on favourite delivering first against Dundee. So no great surprises there. Just waiting for that one to register. Barcelona scoring already against Girona. Really going to expect 2 consecutive defeats for Barca. It is post-international pre-Champions League, so I would expect the likes of Lewandowski would be on the bench for Barcelona today, unless they're in a spot of bother and he'll get called out. Be a surprise to see him playing from the off. Indeed, quite right, he's on the bench. Marcus Rashford, Lamine, Yamal and Fernandes. So he's only on if there's any trouble. Lewandowski thigh injury, so that's by the by anyway. But these injuries all tend to be rather convenient for an upcoming Champions League match. Let's put it that way. Don't expect any trouble today from Barca. They don't normally lose 2 consecutive matches, and they did cost us a winning trade. Could have made it 2-2 against Sevilla with a missed penalty from old Roberto, and that is a collector's item. So on a quietish afternoon so far for a Saturday, you can still see 70th minute Pisa and Verona down to 1.57. So if you did wait overs, oh, has there been a goal? No, there hasn't, of course, because it's still alive. Look at the same liability. That's up to 71 quid now. You can see how exciting this is with the right match. And the only way this loses now is via a score draw at the end of the match. So you can see, if we choose the right match, if you were willing to take that £20 hit, you'd have got yourself a chance of a £50 net profit with a single goal. So if you're willing to take the hit, you can create for yourself a really good profit. So that a decent example of sitting on it at half time, waiting and waiting. When do I bite the bullet? Maybe you'll get a clue. If the momentum starts rising above its previous high for any of these teams. 1.72 is a very high expected goals for Verona. They are creating chances, but the momentum is not allying with the expected goals. When both of these two click, another goal. In an odds-on favourite.
Walsall Barrow is 0-1.
This market has been suspended.
Keep an eye on this one, Walsall and Barrow. And it's gone to Barrow. Now, are you going to automatically take on Barrow, given what's happened with Colchester and Birmingham, where they've got that equaliser? Are you automatically going to take them on? But we can have a look at the in-play stats for English League 2 for this match. And here it is here. So having a look at this, 0.07 expected goals for Walsall. Very, very quiet, not creating the kind of chances you'd expect of an odds-on favourite at home. Again, it could be one to lay over 0.5 goals, over 1.5 goals. And we'll see how many of these will produce a decent profit if we can get that 0-1 for a concerted period of time. With those expected goals so poor for the home favourite, we might have a good run for our money. And just wait for this to tighten up again. We get anywhere near 1.16, we might be up and running. But if you're willing to take the hit, as I keep saying, then you've got a good chance. If the goal comes and you haven't got involved, got a good chance of creating a little bit extra profit. But as you saw with Colchester, a very quick turnaround there. So if you wanted to look strictly at getting involved straight away, Walsall +1 for me would be better, but it's probably not going to be very good. Probably going to be the same odds as it was pre-match for the match odds. 1.8. There we go. Yeah. So if you like 1.8, by all means do that. Or you can go in a very illiquid market. I'm quite happy sitting on this one. And we'll see how many of these we can turn into a significant enough profit to actually green up without getting involved. It's another way of looking at getting involved neutrally, isn't it? Now we know that the Graafschap are favourite in the Eerste Divisie. They're a goal down to Topos. Bristol Rovers, well, just a shade of odds against. I won't be targeting Tranmere too much on irrelevant now. If that goal is wiped off, well, I should get that money back, to be honest. No, it looks as if that is incongruous, I think. The Graafschap are odds-on favourite, but again, like Vasteros, do you trust the lower tier? 1.53 home favourite, like Vasteros. Very, very early goal. It's one of those leagues where you think goals before half-time if you fancy to play there. But do remember, the lower down the tiers we go, the more troublesome things become. So let's see if we can get Topos. So again, laying over 1.5 goals will be very short indeed here. Yeah, I'm not too fussed about a couple of points because it's very short liability already. £2.40. 104, of course, far better. Now, you could have an attempt. Well, if it was liquid enough, first half goals 2.5, given a goal has already been scored from a 1.53 favourite at home. Now, of course, that's completely that, isn't it? So we're just suffering from a big lack of liquidity in these lower tiers today. It's a real pity because we have these opportunities. Here I'd be looking at 2-1. I'd be looking at 1-1, 2-1, any unquoted. And I would be looking at first half goals 2.5. Given the fact we've already got one goal in the bag after 4 minutes. 1.53 shot at home, but as you can see, absolutely nothing doing. It's a real pity. But if you're looking at a Colchester type of value, extremely good value, even if it doesn't come off. With 5 minutes to gone, you can back a 1.53 shot with home advantage at 2.36 or higher. And importantly, you can lay their opponent at short odds as well. So it's a value play, even if it doesn't come in because of the timing, like the Colchester match. So that's something to think about. Oh, Champions League cock-ups are continuing. I did say to lay these odds on favourites like Leverkusen, like Barcelona, particularly if they lead. I missed out the Barca one. That's looking good for a potential cock-up from another Champions League side, like the two that occurred yesterday. But Chelsea, no problems at all against Ange, who's just such a bad fit for Nottingham Forest. It's unreal. The Greek managers, the Greek owners, the poor lad. Doncaster against Northampton. Which one is the odds-on favourite here? Well, Doncaster are the odds-on favourite. So I think De Graafschap, if it's liquid enough, it's playable enough. Let's take a look. The goals are coming in now in quite a few odds-on favourite matches. And still 1.33. Let's just take just to remind you of the power of delaying with this particular strategy. Now imagine if you'd have laid that, covered that 0-0 at the half-time mark. Look at the return you'll get if you get a single goal. £100 for the same stake that you've already got covered. Now, isn't that an extremely nice position to be in? If you get a score draw, well, you're going to have to say 11 minutes gone. They deserve a score draw. 2 quick goals. Still not made that momentum work at all.
Goal. Crystal Palace Bournemouth is 0-2.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't play Crystal Palace. 1.5 home favourite. Pre-Europa League, 2 goals down to Bournemouth. And it's a deserved lead for Bournemouth, who's only been beaten by Liverpool. Now, as I was saying to you about creating value at this unique weekend for these European sides, a 0-2 lead is good value, particularly with home advantage.
Goal. RB Leipzig Hamburg is 1-1.
As they're coming in. So maybe want to investigate at half time, but it's by no means a gimme by any stretch. I wasn't expecting Palace to be such short-priced favourites, to be perfectly honest with you today.
Goal.
Bournemouth, who are in rock.
Heidenheim-Werder Bremen is 0-1.
There's that
goal
coming in the Heidenheim match.
West Brom Preston is 1-0.
So that is a good entry point, isn't it? If you don't trust a side pre-Europa League, despite the market trusting them, you don't trust them. So keep your entry point low. Be prepared to lose this liability. This is what I'd recommend at this unique weekend for these European sides. They may very well be 1.5 at home, but
goal. RB Leipzig Hamburg is 2-1.
A strong candidate at all. That's the best liability I will put on there. So we've got a whole second half for Crystal Palace who do score goals. But I'm suggesting, I think they've made some team changes at the off. Bournemouth aren't worried with European football. I hope you're all okay over at YouTube. So I've just had a little tickle there. Might want to have a look second half. It's the best value. The 0.61 expected goals is okay for Crystal Palace. Surprising not to see more liquidity. So Luton and Mansfield might be of some interest to us. Cardiff and Reading certainly is. So we're getting some odds on favourites now dropping or conceding the first goal. So let's investigate these and at least have a look at their in-play stats. Cardiff to start off with in English League One. Normally delivering at home. Really my first trade of the season, I think, looking for a Cardiff equaliser in their opening match, and they went on to win. So let's have a look at English League One, Cardiff. Why are they a goal down? Have they turned up yet? English Championship. We'll get there eventually. Here we go. No, Are they already up here? No. League One, I was looking at the Championship. Egypt. So let's bring up Cardiff if I can find them. And Luton as well. Luton 1.64 expected goals. Catches the eye. 0.22 XG for Cardiff. Not really done a job just yet, have they? Such short-priced favourites.
Goal. Luton Mansfield is 0-1.
That's a Luton 0-1, and that really picks itself, does it not? 1.73 home favourite, 1.64 expected goals, 3 shots on, 6 off. Now, can we trust? It looks like the odds-on favourites are delivering, doesn't it? Luton and Mansfield in this particular match. So let's bring that one up. If we get a 1-2 from Crystal Palace, particularly before half-time, that will change the whole complexion of this. It's a good entry point. I'm suggesting a few team changes for Palace and that distraction. Very much alive for them, isn't it? The Europa League. I wouldn't be taking that loss to Everton to heart at all. Extremely lucky on Everton's part. But let's have a look at Luton and Mansfield. Something might have happened. Nope, the market's just reforming. And again, based on the expected goals, you're looking for Luton to do a number here. Laying over 1.5 goals. Should get 1.23. Now, I'm going to sit on this one, or maybe not, because they could score before half-time, given that positive XG. So I'll be looking, hopefully, at Luton delivering, where Southampton with a 3.23 expected goals didn't. So I'll be back. Oh, wrong one. Backing Mansfield. That's wrong. So I can get out of that. Back Luton at 3.65. And you'll pick up a bit of these. Lay Mansfield at 2.3. Should have a small loss on the draw. Should tempt you in for that nearly 70 quid on Luton. Now, that looks very nice if that is accurate. Odds on at home, creating enough chances for 2 goals in the first half. Look to be caught with their pants down on a counter-attack, it seems. So it's a good argument for, at least if we can trust the expected goals, for Luton to be creating more chances second half with that home advantage, with the half-time team talk, and hopefully they can get that single goal that can push us on to look for a possible 70 quid win. Let's go back to Pisa and show you.
Goal. Cologne Augsburg is 0-1.
Let's just show you what this looks like now with a £40 liability.
Goal. Wolfsburg VfB Stuttgart is 0-2.
150 quid. Now imagine a score draw now would be very, very unlucky. A single goal from either of these two teams, and you've just hoovered up 150 minus your 20 for laying over 0.5 goals. So you can see the power of this, can't you? If you're willing to take those hits on those matches which see early goals, you'll be creating for yourself some extremely good value plays. 1 or 2 of these are going to come in as well late on. So the longer you can wait, the bigger the potential reward. Worst case, best case is this single goal. 0-0 is a literal break even. 1-1, 2-2, and you're just cursing your bad luck. Let's just check the other goals and the odds on favourites. As you can see, Man City and Everton post International Pre-Champions League against the Toffees. That's probably not a surprise, is it? One of those Champions League sides from yesterday cocking it up. Something we have to be extremely cautious about today. Charlton are leading. Coventry is 0-0 at half-time. I thought it was no, not a Blackburn lead. So that's something to look at second half, because you'd be expecting Coventry to do something, wouldn't you? So hopefully we've got the stats up here for Coventry Blackburn. Not really done anything first half yet, but we can investigate whether the 0-0 at half-time is vulnerable second half. What's their seasonal stats like? Sheffield United, I couldn't really trust, even at 0-0 at half-time, to conjure up a goal from somewhere. It's very difficult to trust. Cardiff and Reading, yes, of definite interest second half. We've got this up here, but not really turned up yet first half. Just putting the corners in the right place. That's it. Shots on, shots off, and corners is my staple. This tends to... So Cardiff will be like Colchester earlier on. You'll have to trust that they'll deliver like Colchester did. But you can see Reading have deserved this. At their highest point, momentum-wise, they got that goal, which the momentum deserved. That looks for me an extremely good play, doesn't it, Luton Town? Maybe want to pass on to Telegrammers this one. Luton Town 0, Mansfield 1. 1.72 expected goals for an odds-on favourite at home, Luton. So I'm resting my hat on that. Laying over 1.5
Goal.
goals. Mansfield.
Charles 0.
Half stake. Well, Bradford getting the goal against Barnsley. Odds-on favourite delivering. That surely will get something out of them. Second half. And while one delivers, the other doesn't deliver. Hull have taken the lead against odds-on favourites Birmingham. Might see some action from that second half as well. But let's just catch up with the odds-on favourites. Make sure we've got them ready for the second half. We know all about Luton and Mansfield. We know all about Cardiff as well. In English League 2, Chesterfield and Fleetwood, odds-on favourite 1-1. And Walsall and Barrow. I think we're Walsall and Barrow, we've got the over 0.5 goals covered, haven't we? Look at this now, by the way. Your £40 stake would be turning into 280 quid if you laid over 0.5 goals at the start of the match and you had a very big pair of kahuna burgers to stay in or delay until as late as possible. Imagine a late goal now. It's quite something, isn't it? That's exactly what you'd like to be seeing. Flat as a pancake momentum. That's probably a negative 1.76 expected goals. Creating great chances. But it's all dependent on Pisa's expected goals against. If that's under 1 season-wide, that's why Verona haven't scored. But a great example, isn't it, of how you can
Goal.
make delaying work.
Birmingham Hull is 1-2.
Heidenheim and Werder Bremen. Well, a goal was expected, but it's not gone the way of the team with the expected goals. Heidenheim, but I don't know whether I can trust Heidenheim at 2.55, the favourite match. Better stats from them. Maybe if their momentum goes to the previous high up here. This thing keeps getting in the way. That previous high you can see there. If it starts getting there again, then I might consider laying Werder Bremen. Not a side you can really trust, Heidenheim. Stuttgart delivering when their expected goals turns up, so do they. Leipzig doing what you expect, I suppose, against a newly promoted side with home advantage. FC Köln and Augsburg, don't have a strong opinion here, but thought FC Köln at home were quite strong. I thought they had a good both teams to score pattern at home, but we will wait and see. You're going to lay the draw second half, Man City and Everton. Could be a good one to lay to do that Pisa one. But of course, when you've got Erling Haaland in the team, you can get a 46-minute goal from absolutely nowhere. Cardiff haven't turned up really against Reading, have they? But do you trust them as you would have trusted Colchester at similar odds? Look at this now, 109. You're up to £435 if we can get a single goal scored by either of these two. Quite something, eh? All covered, of course, by that insurance. Cardiff and Reading. Laying over 1.5 goals. I'll ready that. Should have done that at the off, at the single goal, because if you get a 0-1 for a while, you'll be actually making a profit in this market. That's all prepared for the second half. Do you trust Cardiff to come out of the blocks? They haven't really turned up, but you're getting again a 1.53 shot available to back at 4.2 with home advantage. They haven't created enough solid chances. But why are they 1.53? Will they perform like Colchester did earlier on? Similar odds, but you can quite clearly see been kept very quiet by Reading in the first half. Now, of course, lay Pisa at 1.02. Your profit from a single goal would be immense. But a good example for you there of that kind of system I have in my mind about creating extremely big profits from a single goal scored late on. Well, Heidenheim are doing everything to suggest an equaliser against Werder Bremen. And as I said, if that momentum starts moving itself upwards to its previous high, which was, looks like 59, the previous high for Heidenheim, it's up to 49 now. You marry that in with an increasing expected goals, and it does look like the possibility of scoring a goal, but very untrustworthy side. If you wanted to play, got a good argument, but we will see. Quetta 2-0 up. We already know about Quetta. Odds on favourites delivering. So Heidenheim Werder Bremen might be want to look at the neutral markets perhaps, or just not play at all. Don't forget, normally my Saturdays are losing Saturdays because I overplay. So that is a lesson to you as well. Laying Werder Bremen, I prefer to do it with some insurance, which is relatively high given it's 65 minutes in. How else can we play this without insurance? You could do a simple back of Heidenheim at 10s. That keeps your liability low. And if they don't turn up, then fine. But if that XG produces a goal before the 75th minute, for example, or even 80th minute, those odds of 10 are going to drop markedly. So it's a good low risk entry point. Just something like that. Have a tickle in there. You can always lay Werder Bremen, the lower the odds get if Heidenheim is still turning up. I did expect them in the first half, but it does look good. And that momentum is just leaking upwards now, as you can see, which is why that's got my interest. If they can match the earlier momentum and exceed it, it's like I saw with Napoli. Momentum rose, the XG rose, and we got the goal. But this lot are not Bayern Munich, so do remember that. Köln against Augsburg, no strong opinion there.
This market has been suspended.
Man City and Everton. Which Man City turns up? Everton, we know, can get those 0-0s in the bag. It's going to be an interesting one second half. Laying the draw is an obvious play if you can trust Man City to deliver. We can look at their team news, see what kind of a Manchester City it is today. Have they made any major changes? Because it just knocks them off kilter. They're making significant team changes. But Erling Haaland is playing. Doku's playing. It's a strong forward line, isn't it? Reinders, all the big boys. Foden. It's a very, very strong player. They've made a few changes at the back. Any bench who can make a significant difference. Not really. They've really gone for glory with the big boys up front. Everton, well, it's your usual Everton, but we don't, no, we've got better up front. Seamus Coleman, that's likely to be remnants of the international break. This is why these sides can struggle post-international pre-Champions League. Maybe Seamus Coleman picking up an injury or two, or just fatigued. So it's not going to be the first 11 for Everton. It's a difficult one to call. You could,
This market
if you fancied it.
has been suspended.
Oh, we've got a suspended market here. Is it a 1-1? Because if it is a 1-1, watch those Heidenheim odds drop significantly. If it's a 0-2, I'll have lost a fiver, eh? Or it's a false alarm, it looks like. So nothing to worry us just there. So Manchester City, this is the problem I have with post-international pre-Champions League. It's reading City. Is it going to be the struggling City? Maybe score a 91st minute goal.
Heidenheim Werder Bremen is 1-1.
Well, it's just come up as 1-1. Heidenheim Werder Bremen, but it's not. That's a pity. Along the right tracks there, wasn't I? Once you see that start to rise to its highest high, I don't think that goal has come in. It's a false alarm there because it's not affected the Betfair markets. We just confirm that in Germany. Ah. Now that must have been really quick. 1-2. What on earth went on there? I wasn't alerted to any of these. Right. Yeah, there we go. I wasn't alerted to any of these, and it was 1-1. But I didn't get my alert because this is a bit behind. So are you having any problems? Yeah, Mark. It's been a microphone issue all day, but I am sorry. I don't know how to fix it. That's the simplest question. I can't spend all day trying to solve the problem. I don't know what to look at or where to go. And it just occurred. I do a test before I start and everything was fine. But it's just occurred at the off. So my apologies. I'll try to speak a bit louder, or I'll try to dig up my Yeti microphone so I can have that actually underneath my mouth. So I hope you can still hear me okay. That's a pity about Heidenheim. It's just turned up now. So that we did get the 1-1, but didn't get out quick enough. What a pity. Ah, disappointing. So Man City, I don't know how to play. Do you lay the draw now, or do you lay it later on? Luton, just basing it on expected goals. I'm hoping that they will deliver, unlike Southampton earlier on. Palace Bournemouth is quite a simple lay of Bournemouth at decent value odds, but it is pre-Europa League for Crystal Palace, which is a major problem with them today. Well, Charlton already odds on and delivering. That 1-1 might have legs for Wolverhampton Wanderers at some point, but they've reverted to type, I'm afraid, not creating enough chances. They created plenty against Brighton and really should have put that game to bed. But this is their problem this season, 0.09 XG. Nothing else doing at the moment. Well, Barrow, still 1.07 for Barrow. 10 corners for Walsall. Again, it's either Champions League or it's these lower tiers. I don't want to get too tempted. So I hope you can still hear me okay there. I will get ChatGPT to look into this for me, see if I can solve it. Let's go have a look at our odds-on favourites today. As the second half's the beginning. Luton is the strongest one on XG. Cardiff, the shortest priced, but their expected goals is very poor indeed.
Goal. Mainz Bayer Leverkusen is 2-3.
So let's take a look down. So second half will be beginning soon. And in Germany, not much really for me to get excited about. De Graafschap and Os. Let's have a look at this one because I laid over 0.5 goals. How is that looking at the moment? Or laid over 1.5 goals. So you're starting to rise slowly. All the time you're rising, you're getting better odds about De Graafschap and shorter odds about Os. And indeed, just getting a little bit better. Well, far better, to be honest. 2.38 all the way up to 3.1, and laying Os 2.38 all the way down to 2.42. So Os's odds are degrading a lot slower, aren't they, than De Graaf's are rising. So a little bit of delaying there would have got me better odds. If you're willing to take a very, very small £2.40 loss, just have fun with it.
Goal.
See how long you can wait.
Cologne Augsburg is 1-1.
So just waiting for things to happen. It's a little quiet for me today. Missed all the fun laying by Leverkusen at 1-3. Pre-Champions League, both teams are scoring yet again. Well, Heidenheim, we missed the fun at the 1-1, didn't we? I wasn't alerted to that, which was a real disappointment. And that's one thing that's missing today. Football 24, should have had that up. So let's get that up, because I'm only really alerted to goals coming in matches I am interested in. Get rid of Rangers have already scored. So let's just sort this out. The Austrian Bundesliga. The great thing about this website, you can just choose the leagues you want to hear goals from. Just make your life a lot easier. So work our way down. Danish First Division, just for its goals. Premier League, Championship, League 1 and League 2. Veikkausliga today. Got some interesting matches. French Liga, League 2, Bundesliga, Bundesliga 2, Greek Super League, Eredivisie and Eerste Divisie. Serie A, Serie B. And this will ensure that you're focused only, if you want, on the leagues, the elite leagues. If you wanted to just focus on those, make sure all of the noise is ignored. Romanian One League perhaps, so I can ignore the Cup today. Premier League, all of these other leagues lacking liquidity. Spanish Primera, Spanish Segunda, and our Turkish friends to potentially finish it off. So now all I'll get is an alert for any goals coming in any matches I'm interested in. You can see there. Wigan red card against Port Vale. Swindon red card against Accrington. I think we can ignore that one. So we've got a couple of red cards. Wigan in English League 1 and Grimsby in English League 2. So let's bring those up. Wigan and Grimsby. League 1. There's the Wigan match. Just make sure or see whether the 11 players can take advantage. And it looks like Grimsby would be the best candidate for that, doesn't it? So let's have a look at that. And we've got the goals coming in. The draw odds are looking pretty good under the circumstances. Now, we've had Southampton cocking things up with their exceptional stats, but laying the draw.
Goal. Arbroath St Johnstone is 1-1.
I'll just pass this on to Telegrammers. Grimsby against Gillingham. I'm going to be laying the draw. Grimsby against 10 men. Their stats are suggesting they will be taking advantage.
Goal. Cardiff Reading is 1-1.
Cardiff have the equaliser against Reading, as they call them. Let's take a look. Like Colchester, based mostly on the pre-match odds rather than anything they weren't showing in play stats wise, but you can see we're up and running now. Cardiff and Reading. Liability here of £7.20. You could take 19 quid green and run to the hills. A few goals coming in here. Anything of interest, anything at the lead. There's the Cardiff equaliser. Nice have the lead against Lyon. That could be interesting because Nice don't have that many goals in the bag. It's just a little bit loud for me. I've got the headphones on. Okay. So I'll try to solve the mic problem tomorrow for you. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there's a solution. So, Besiktas.
This market has been suspended.
Oh, 0-0 at half-time. Suspended market as well. So Grimsby, hopefully, they can make this momentum count. 2 consecutive defeats, an ideal opportunity for them to end that losing run. What a pity with Heidenheim. Called it spot on. As the momentum increased, they got the goal. But they couldn't shut up shop at the back. What a pity. Man City, is it going to be a matter of time? I'm not so sure. Quite happy to delay. I wouldn't be laying over 0.5 goals, though, with Erling Haaland.
This market has been suspended.
That's a slight problem. You see one-way traffic, really, for the away side. They've been caught out by Cardiff. 3-0 to Stuttgart. We can get rid of that one. Leipzig as well. I think we can get rid of a few of these German ones. And in the Premier League, well, Brighton have the lead against Newcastle, but would you take Newcastle on? Newcastle don't concede that second goal ordinarily. That's the key. Ordinarily. This is pre-Champions League, post-international break. They've got a lot of internationals in the side. I'll just put my computer elsewhere because I might be able to get a bit nearer to the microphone. So let me... a bit nearer to the mic. There's a Besiktas goal. Walsall starting brightly against Barrow, but again, stats or the XG. Momentum has begun for Walsall. Let's take a look at this one. So Cardiff, it's up to you if you want to take the green or you want to search out for that 80 quid profit. You could negate your liabilities if you wanted to be extra safe by going to Dutch back, Reading and the draw. Just get rid of this. See how much it will cost firstly. If it's not worth your while, it's going to drop 15 quid just to keep you happy that you won't be losing 39 today. So that's okay. Time and time again, get done by a late away winner when you could have negated the loss for a small. 56 is still a very good return. That's the Besiktas opening goal. Let's go to Walsall. I was heading off there. Walsall against Barrow. And Man City we can potentially have a look at as well. We laid over 1.5 goals, didn't we? And delayed. So you could even just take a green screen there. But you're going to get far, far better odds against Walsall. Particularly if you want to go into the +1 market. 1.92. If you wanted to look at the match
Goal.
now that they're turned up,
Arbroath St Johnstone is 2-1.
you're getting far better odds. Their in-play stats are good. If they can get that equaliser, we are up and running. So again, that's a good scenario with a £100 potential gain. You can see the reaction here. Second half, so it's a brand new half. We can ignore the first half stats. They look like they've started brightly. The expected goals is remnants, I think, of the first half. 10 corners, plenty of pressure
Goal.
from Walsall.
Heidenheim-Werder Bremen is 2-2.
And that's deserved. That is deserved. We were very, very unlucky to get done. Let's have a look at Heidenheim against Werder Bremen. Ah, it's a draw, isn't it? I backed Heidenheim, didn't I? Yeah. So it's gone from 10s down to 5.4, which is a pity. Should have laid Werder as well. I'm just going to take the green. Or you could hold out for the win, but we've missed the opportunity really. I was trying to keep my liability low. Laying Werder at 1.5. Your liability is half of the amount you want to win. So called it right there, but what a pity. No tangible gain. Man City have not added to their shots on target at all since the first half. A couple of shots off target. This is typical. David Moyes strangled the life out of your opponent.
Goal.
Blackburn, if you laid the draw.
Coventry Blackburn is 1-0.
This market has been suspended.
Laid the draw in the match. So let's work our way through. Ignore that one. All the fun's gone out of this one, but the momentum is with the side with the 2.42. Absolutely delivered on their chances. Man City don't know what to do with them. It's Everton could nick a 0-1. You never know. The momentum starting to drop down for Man City. Cardiff have that equaliser against Reading. Let's just check. Cardiff and Reading. Yes, I negated the liability, didn't I? But you
Goal.
can always just take the green.
Grimsby Gillingham is 1-0.
Grimsby have the goal. That, for me.
Goal.
What
Wigan Port Vale
value.
is 1-0.
Superb value. Those in-play stats, and you're giving me 2.82, about 11 v 10. Advantage with those stats, absolutely superb. Value.
This market has been suspended.
Love a bit of that for Grimsby. Look at this. This is where the stat feeds can pay for themselves. That's very, very compelling, isn't it? Hopefully it hasn't been. Walsall, potential equaliser, but no. And there's the Man City goal, rather inevitable. Probably the ponytailed wonder, which makes it very difficult to cover that 0-0, doesn't it? So the goals are flowing with the odds-on favourites. Plymouth a goal down to AFC Wimbledon. Who's the odds-on favourite here? Could be Wimbledon. Let's take a peek. Plymouth are a goal down. So we can keep the tentative eye on that one. Plymouth against AFC Wimbledon. Not going to be top of my list.
Goal. Man City Everton is 1-0.
We'll keep an eye on Brighton and Newcastle as well, but this is a typical pre-Champions
Goal.
League performance.
Coventry Blackburn is 2-0.
We only have the lead against lead in a match where both teams would be eyeing the win today. Goals are coming in mostly in Yorkshire. That is a pity. 0-2 for Mansfield against Luton. And we did all our due diligence there with 2 points.
Goal. Luton Mansfield is 0-2.
But Mansfield second goal. It's the 58th minute. I might just top up in case Luton can relay that expected goals. But yet another reminder to you, going off to these lower tiers is where you're going to hit your losses more often than not. They're less readable, less trustworthy. Even you saw Southampton. Look at this from Luton as well. It's just, they tempt you in and then they don't deliver. It's very frustrating, these lower
Goal.
tiers.
Arbroath St Johnstone is 3-1.
Well, that could be a potential interest here. St Johnstone, newly relegated and really enjoying this. So I'll just make sure that this is collected. Grimsby against Gillingham. And we'll move on. That was very, very good value, wasn't it? Just got an inkling that Leeds might be looking for an equaliser. Burnley suffer from that lack of a second goal. So I might look on this one. This will enter speculative
Goal.
territory.
Arbroath St Johnstone is 3-1.
Burnley against Leeds. Sure, it's going to be relatively high, but I'm going to give this a go myself. I'm looking at Burnley's expected goals, which is very, very poor indeed.
Goal. West Brom Preston is 2-0.
They are playing the kind of team today that they could beat. That's the problem. +1, I think, would be my only stopping point here, rather than going for the win. Just think, I'm hoping that Burnley's expected goals will be in our favour. Let's have a look. Wolfsberger, no surprises just yet. So 0.77 expected goals a game. That's what I'm hoping for. An inability to score that second goal, but they do give teams a chance. 2.24 expected goals against a game. That is suggestive that they are vulnerable defensively, but notably they're not playing the likes of Leeds United week in, week out, so that's tainted a little bit. Leeds can create enough chances for at least a goal a game, and defensively,
This market has been suspended.
Doubt enough, but I'm relying on this, hoping that we won't get that second goal. But please remember, it's a derby-style match I mentioned in the research, and you know what happens in those? You tend to get a lot of surprise results. So let's just work our way down. Hope that Heidenheim pull off the win. If you want to lay the draw at 1.09 and 1.06, and hope that the Heidenheim momentum, by all means, go for it. 1.09, 1.06. I think we can get rid of Man City now. It was all about if or when. I don't think I'll be laying Brighton and Hove Albion today, despite them having a very strong both teams to score pattern. Newcastle haven't turned up. Another red card for Gillingham. City. Luton. Well, look at the XG for both of these two sides. It does suggest neutral would have been better, wouldn't it? We can get rid of Grimsby now. Done the job. Coventry. No interest in there. Wigan against Port Vale. Well, the Wigan red card. Did Wigan score after the red card? Yes, they did. No reaction yet from Port Vale.
This market has been suspended.
Keeping an eye on that one. Crystal Palace has started a bit better in the second half. You can see they're getting there with
Goal.
the expected goals.
Cardiff reading is 2-1.
And that's the Cardiff winner. So let's just go and check our position with Cardiff. And you can see why I can fall into the overtrading trap on a Saturday. It's very difficult, isn't it? So many opportunities. Now, don't cash out immediately when you see a gap between the back and the lay odds.
This market has been suspended.
To tighten up a little bit here. But that's a nice return for Cardiff. We've got a goal coming in. And it's Brendan Rosenborg. But it's suspended. So it's one of my... And there's a goal back from Palace. Excellent stuff. So just wait for this to tidy up a bit. Are you going to go for the 56? We've already negated the liability. I'm not willing to take a drop.
This market has been suspended.
With this in the bag already. So I'm taking that. What this will do as well, this will cover a loss elsewhere should we pick one up. So don't forget
Goal.
that.
Crystal Palace Bournemouth is 1-2.
Got a goal back from Palace. Excellent stuff. Notably the timing. Probably bringing on the cavalry. But how has this affected the market? It's got us up and running, at the very least. Don't forget that your reward is relative to your risk. So that is nearly risk reward there. So if you double that, you get that just with a single goal. But we can get that £13.72 on the draw. And then that can hopefully ignite 113. Two very solid sides, the Eagles and the Cherries. Very difficult to take them. But Crystal Palace, good well-timed goal because it gives us a good story, gives the market a good story for the second half. That Crystal Palace can do something here. Hope you're all okay. Still on YouTube. Well, 109, 106, Heidenheim, can they deliver? Really solid stuff from them. Nothing doing from Newcastle. I think I'll take that off the watch list. I won't be laying Brighton anyway, unless they get red carded. Cardiff, job done. That's in the bag. Luton, disappointing, but basing on expected goals. Twice now, that's come awry. So I shouldn't be too reliant on XG. I should use it along with momentum graphs and along with intake stats. Looking good. Far better second half performance. You can quite clearly see the momentum. And again, they hit their highest ever momentum with the XG improving. And that conjures up a goal. Do they have a second in the bag? Birmingham red card, so I think we can ignore that match now. Wolverhampton Wanderers on a run of 2 consecutive 1-1 draws, but look at their momentum or lack thereof being kept a lid on basically by the Black Cats today, haven't they? 0.21 XG. It's the story of their season. Really is poor.
This market has been suspended.
Had a few Desmonds today. Walsall, well, we could have done with that goal because that 1-1 was perfectly timed. Ah, look, as I was just saying, that 1-1 was perfectly timed earlier on. Now Barrow make it 2-2. And guess what? English League 2. So please look at this match and tell yourself, would you have made the same decision I made? And now look at the new score and you'll be wondering why on earth
Goal.
You go down.
Walsall Barrow is 0-2.
To these lower tiers. No rhyme or reason there at all. Momentum graph up. 6 shots on, 3 off, 13 corners, 40 attacks. Playing 10 men. And it's 0-2. but it's salvageable enough. If you didn't play, now is
This market has been suspended.
this 2-2. It looks like it could be. Let's wait and see. Or maybe a false alarm, perhaps. Oh, we've got the door. 2-2 on the door. They are up and running. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth up and running. This is the important thing about locking it in when it's around 40. If you're going to go to these lower tiers, you're going to be hit. Inexplicably hit.
Goal.
Time and time again.
Crystal Palace Bournemouth is 2-2.
Any other league, this is a 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. But we're up to 2-2 now, Palace and Bournemouth. Very exciting. Do you take
This market has been suspended.
Do you take the green, or are you looking for that £113? Note the liability, 13 quid. We can get straight away just by dutching back, clicking on Bournemouth variable profit, and let's just negate that 13. Not going to cost too much from the Crystal Palace potential profits. Now they have that second half momentum. It's going to be a very exciting end to this. Are you going to be taking the 42 quid, or are you going to be looking out for £113? Now, if you've had losses earlier on today, you lock in that 40. It's no harm coming out of a session even.
Goal. Burnley leads is 2-0.
Football is very, very liquid enough. So there's always another opportunity down the line. So £109 for Crystal Palace. They certainly have that momentum. They've got enough time to score that third goal. Very exciting times there. Walsall just going to top up, although I think I've made my point about going to English League 1, English League 2, and even the Championship. If you want consistent profits, you stick with odds-on favourites, potentially at home and from elite leagues. We just keep getting done with these incredible disappointments. I've done my due diligence, covered everything. Stats, home, red card, delivering. But what I tend to do here, I top up with an extra fiver as liability and an extra fiver as stake. Because if we get that 1-2 in the 80th minute from Walsall, particularly with that 10-man, that red card is going to double the effect of that single goal to make it 1-2. So if we can get that, we can potentially scrub this all the way down to 6 or 7 quid. I'll be quite happy taking that red. You can quite clearly see. Would you have made the same decision as me? Probably yes. 2.31. What a change in XG for Crystal Palace. 1.16 all the way up to 0.21. Sorry, 2.21. 2.31. So I've got 100 quid, or you're going to take the 40 quid green screen and run. Just get rid of a few of these that we don't need the results for. Just waiting for Walsall to do something here, but welcome to English League 2, ladies and gentlemen. Dodgepot City. I've got a theory that maybe the people who are covering English League 1, English League 2 are getting the stats wrong. Or maybe I just have to say the quality's not there football-wise, is it, for us to trust? This is a big, big surprise for St Johnstone. Is there enough time for them to get out of jail? They have been scoring late goals, but a couple of consecutive nil-nils is a concern. Goals in them, St J, but not today. But if you see any value, they have been the side to follow. Plenty of time left, and hopefully you're getting very short.
This market has been suspended.
Hopefully this is a 1-2 for Walsall. We'll come to that in a second. And it will show you the value of averaging up or down when you've got a belief that the side can deliver. This should be a 1-2. If it's 0-3, well, I'll take up a new career, I think. Got to be laying our broth with 15 minutes to go. That's an average of a goal every 5 minutes. St Johnstone have had late goals in them this season. That liability again is nothing to concede. You can sit back. Maybe with the best side in the Scottish Championship. Wait for them to deliver. There's the goal.
Walsall Barrow is 1-2.
This will show you how good this averaging is. Remember, we had a £30 loss a second ago. £30 loss. With that red card, it's now become an £8.69 green screen. That was just with the £5 liability, £5 profit. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, why the did I get involved in English League 2? You can get out now, and you've made yourself a green screen. It's a difficult one to call. I know we've got 241 quid to work with here, but it's too big of a loss, even with 10 men. This is why you're getting a good profit. The goal and the red together significantly move the odds, despite Walsall still losing. How much is this 49 going to cost me if I keep the draw and Walsall's profits? Let's have a look. How much of that Walsall profit is it going to scrub off? I want to also just reduce maybe the draw to a break even. No, I can't. So I'll keep that at 0. And we're just trying to see how much it will cost there. It's not worth doing, is it? Because to get rid of all of that 49, you'll have to transfer the liability to the draw, and that 190 does look very nice, doesn't it? So you're transferring that Barrow loss to the draw. I can't really play minuses here. I'd like to go minus. It's down to 0.00, but that's not worth doing to maintain the draw profit. So that is tempting. Don't like having such a big liability like this. Running out for a team who've obviously struggled against 10 men, but they've got that goal and they've conceded as well. So you see my dilemma here. I might take the hit. I'd like to negate this. I don't want to be hitting that later on. Fun and games in Scotland. The old firm.
Goal.
Trustworthy.
West Brom Preston is 2-1.
2 team. Simple as that. Burnley, 2 goals again. Why do I not play derby matches? Time and time again at footballtradingprofits.com, you'll hear me say derby.
This market has been suspended.
You look at the final score and you'll see why I don't tend to play these derby matches. Unpredictable. You get single goal Burnley suddenly scoring 2 goals. You get the idea. You get Atletico Madrid scoring 5 or 6 against Real Madrid.
Goal.
This market has been suspended.
Is 3-2.
More like it. That's more like it. Let's take a look at the Eagles. Now, with that in mind, I can return to this. I'm going to get rid of that 49 quid. And I might get involved.
This market has been suspended.
Walsall now to make it 2-2 and push on, but I've had enough of these lower tiers. Don't tell me that's Crystal Palace. Goal disallowed, please. We'll wait and see here. Yes, it's been disallowed. Or has it? Yes, it's been disallowed. You've still got the draw as the shortest price. That's a real pity. Now I'm ruined getting out of Barrow. I thought I had that Palace 100 plus quid nailed. So let's go through. Not going to be playing Port Vale. Well, they haven't shown up just yet. Maybe if that graph starts growing as we get to the end of the second half. That's very, very unlucky for Palace. Perfectly timed as well to get the win. Now that we've got a shot on target for Wolves, wonder if they'll make it a third consecutive 1-1 draw. It's absolutely even Stevens this, all the way down to the attacks. Absolutely even. The only difference. Let's get rid of a few of these. Wolves will have the goal back. Highly likely now. They'll be pushing on to get the win. I was a bit cavalier in getting out of there. But you can see the thought process of the averaging. If you're so taken with the team and they go 0-2 down, average up, only takes a fiver and fiver liability, and you can wipe off that £30 in an instant. Equaliser for Newcastle, fair enough. Both teams to score, 4 out of the last 5 matches for Brighton. I didn't play pre. You just get these doubts with these Champions Leagues and Europa Leagues performances. But well done to the Geordies. Both teams to score comes to bite Brighton yet again. Any surprises? Not necessarily in the Championship. Stoke, 1 goal up. League 1, League 2. Nothing much to interest there. Grimsby, job done for them. That's the kind of thing you should be looking at all day long. If you can get 2.74 about this, absolutely superb. Really good value. So nothing much to interest me at the moment. French Ligue 1, Nice have the lead against Lyon. Not getting too involved with that. Lecce against Sassuolo. Oh, well, that should have ended quite a while ago. Eerste Divisie. Well, this is going to be interesting. Let's go and take a look at this. Topos and De Graafschap. Top Os. Or just Os.
This market has been suspended.
Hopefully that's a Palace winner. That would be very nice. Now laying over 1.5 goals should make you a loss more than £3. No? Well, it's probably because they're expecting an avalanche. But now we can potentially get involved. Or could have got involved had we delayed. 2.38. You could have backed them at 3.65 now. 3.05. You could lay them at 2.26 now. Extremely good value, isn't it? Just by delaying. How much would that cost you if you got an early goal? £2.40. So you see the value of waiting to create value in a match. 6 shots on 9 off 10 corners. Again, it's one of those dodge pot leagues. They are doing everything, but they're not scoring a goal. Real pity there. So we're coming to the end of the session. What have we learnt? We're going off to English League 1, English League 2 can spell a whole heap of bother for you. Let's have a look at the goals coming in. Have I missed any? Well, I was looking for a C Palace 3, Bournemouth 2, but that hasn't eventuated. What a pity.
This market has been suspended.
Well, we live in hope. Sunderland and Wolves. If this remains 1-0 until the very dying breath, might be laying Sunderland at 109, 106. 2 consecutive 1-1 draws for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So let's have a look at that one. Again, because you can't trust the team, don't get involved early on. So I'm going to place my lays in 1.09 to win 32 quid or 23 quid. 1.06 to win 32 quid. You see the problem with Wolves, it's that expected goals for, particularly away from home. They can keep it tight, vastly improved defensively, but when you can't back that up with a second goal, you're in a whole heap of bother, and that's their story of their season. Sunderland did get 2 against Brentford, both of those second half goals at home as well. Second half goal against Aston Villa as well.
This market has been suspended.
Another suspended market. Just waiting for that to come up. 3-2. No. Damn. So you see your dilemma, that 43 quid looking rather nice, isn't it? But then what you said about 3-2 had stood, how would you be feeling then? Swings and roundabouts. Well, I say ta-ra to Luton there. Just no interest really from Port Vale in doing anything. We've got that lay-in of Wolves, of Sunderland late on in case Wolves make it 3 consecutive 1-1 draws. Walsall and Barrow, you can see that £49 liability looking very worrying now, wouldn't it be? Just these lower tiers are god-awful. Look at them. 13 shots, 13 corners, 53 attacks, playing 10 men, and you're 1-2 down, having conceded the second goal after the 10 men. Awful stuff. Got out of jail there. Probably Barrow layable very, very.
This market has been suspended.
Could be a whole heap of extra time potentially there. Derby style matches, please remember. Burnley, Leeds, AC Milan, Inter Milan. Besiktas, Galatasaray, Lazio, Roma, Lazio, Inter.
This market has been suspended.
A derby style match could be any match. It could be a top 2 clash like you saw in Ireland yesterday. It could be a clash of near geographical rivals. But here, it's a clash of
Goal.
newly promoted sides.
De Graaf Schap top OSS is 1-1.
There we go. That's De Graaf Schap starting to deliver. And had you delayed and entered them at even better odds, then you'd be looking at profit for the sake of risking £2.40. So do remember that in the future. If you get your big guns, you're expecting goals from Real Madrid and that. Lay over 1.5 goals. The first goal. Now we've got £2.40 liability. We've only got £6 gain. Total £12 loss in the draw. But we've got half an hour to go. So this is why I try to tempt you in like this. Take that loss on the draw for the hope of a bigger gain. Half an hour to go. Goals are coming in late. There's that De Graaf Schap. Besiktas, are they involved in Europe? No, weren't they? That's why they sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Oh dear, another cock-up. Another Champions League side bites the dust. Both teams to score has come off this time for Brighton and Hove Albion. Be interesting to watch Arsenal and Fulham later on, wouldn't it? We're going to see an Arsenal cock-up later on. We will find out. I'm going to say goodbye soon. I'm talking a bit loud. I'm in a condo building now. I've got to respect my neighbour, given the 6-hour time difference. I've had to talk louder because of the microphone issue. So I'll wrap this up very soon. I think we've got all of our late potential plays covered. Just get the old prayer mat out for Crystal Palace. You could really do with that winner, couldn't we? Nothing much else really grabs the attention as we get the goals coming in. Port Vale, absolutely awful. Get rid of that. Walsall, absolutely awful. Put that in the video tomorrow. Great example of English League 2 dodginess.
This market has been suspended.
Thankfully, you that single goal saved my boat. And did I get rid of that Bournemouth liability? Let's have a
Goal.
look.
Crystal Palace Bournemouth is 2-3.
And there's a great reminder to you as well, if you get that £40 green, locking it in, doesn't matter what happens afterwards. So let's take a look at this. So it's a disappointment rather than a major loss. It was my personal choice to go for £109 on Palace, and they nearly got it, didn't they? But this Bournemouth are a very good side indeed, only beaten by Liverpool this season. So that's the beauty of these plays. 43 now is looking rather nice, isn't it? Hope I haven't been talking to myself for the last hour and a bit. Yep, exactly, John. That's exactly what I did, and it worked. Got yourself out of jail there. So, got rid of that liability on Bournemouth. Good choice. Really good choice. Pity, 110 quid, but that 3-2 would have been rather nice. Just looking for the possibility of Wolverhampton striking late. They'll need a corner, you think, but is that as a corner count to a bear? Very interesting, that. And look at Walsall. Oh my God, 16 shots, 14 corners, but 106, 109, definitely on the cards. So do remember in the future, if you had made a loss earlier on in your session, if you do get a decent green, don't look out for the bigger profit. Lock it in, because it all comes to balance the books, so to speak, particularly if you're going down to these lower tiers where the problems start to arise. I've got £4 to work with. Might as well have some fun. Yeah, why not? Here we go. £4.23. All in on Walsall. Hoping for a bit of extra time. Don't forget, a red card and another goal from Walsall. The red card will impact it regardless of extra time. But 1.2 suggesting there's still enough in this match to go. So we will see. Bring forth the goals. As you can see, knocking on the door. 102 momentum for the Dodgepots.
This market has been suspended.
Right, suspended markets. We've got any number of candidates here. De Graafschap, second goal. Walsall, second goal.
Goal. Barnet Notts County is 0-1.
Barnet Notts County. No interest in that one. Any goal of interest? No. A little bit quiet. So just waiting for that. Walsall and De Graaf. De Graaf have got plenty of time to suss that. Possible if Wolves can get a corner or a set piece, but this is their problem. Anything under one for the whole of the match, it's not good enough. Just not good enough. So some potential late plays here. Just got to wait and see if they will deliver for us. With that in mind, I'm going to say goodnight to you now. I've got to close up shop. I'll try to solve the mic issue for tomorrow. I'll see if I can dig out my old mic. Have a great night. Thank you very much for coming along. What lessons did we learn? Just be very careful going into League One and League Two. Another lesson, averaging can save you a whole heap of misery, can't it? Third lesson, delaying entry can produce some exceptional chances to win an exceptional amount of money for the amount risked. This was a prime example.
This market has been suspended. This market has been suspended.
A couple of them. Nil-nils. Chesterfield getting the winner against Fleetwood Town. Not a match I'm interested in. No. Okay, all by the by. I'll say goodbye to you now. Thank you very much for coming along. Sorry about the microphone issues. I'll try to solve that. And I'll see you over on Telegram for the next couple of hours as the players start flying in. There we go. Look, Sunderland
Goal.
2, Wolves 0.
Sunderland Wolverhampton is 2-0.
Oh, poor things. But I don't know if I even